Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. Welcome back to the show, y'all. I have to say that Spirit has really been guiding me heavily over the past few months, especially the past few weeks. I have had revelation after revelation after revelation, and it's catapulted me into seeing life in an entirely new way where I've been able to really, literally eliminate the fear, stress, and doubt that I had carried with me about life. And over time, I'm going to be sharing the concepts with you that God has shared with me, that Spirit has shared with me, that my angels have encouraged me to adopt, because that's my job, right? I put these two pieces together, therapy and the magic of spirituality. And so that's where all of these ideas that I've been speaking about have come from. But the ones that are coming down the pike over the next few weeks are the most recent transmissions that Spirit has given me. And so that starts with today's topic, which is practical spiritual steps to your highest reality. Because I've been asking Spirit, what is the most impactful information that I can teach listeners where it will really change their life? That's the kind of impact I want to have. And this is part of it, right? So if you've ever wondered how to tune into your greatest reality, that was one of my biggest questions, because I kept hitting up against a resistance. And that resistance literally was my ego freaking out. Like, oh shit, if she really bypasses these limiting thoughts and beliefs, what could she become? And so I've decided to consciously work on observing my thoughts. And I invite you to do that. That may sound weird, like, oh, okay, I observe my thoughts, and then what do I do? Well, you decide how to interpret them. And I'm going to go into depth into this in some of the upcoming episodes. But when I've asked about, okay, how can I tune into my greatest reality? Like, we know that quantum physics, of course, this is facts, quantum physics facts, that there are an infinite number of parallel realities happening all at the same time, okay, with everything and everyone at once. All right? So it's happening with you. Any decision you make allows you to either rise up or go down to whatever reality matches that vibration. So if we're looking to tune into like a radio station, like a radio frequency, your greatest reality, and receive divine guidance and eliminate the blocks that hold you back, you are going to be in for a treat today, y'all. Because I always, one of the things in my book, The Intuitive Therapist, is I figured this out. It's like my mission, part of my mission, is to learn, to grow, and then to teach what I've learned. Okay? It's just God has spoken to me. That's what I'm supposed to do. And so by the end of this episode today, you're going to have actionable steps to align you with your authentic truth. And I'm going to give you a guided meditation at the end to help you connect deeply with your divine path. So if you're driving and listening to this and we get into the meditation, all I want you to do, you can either shut it off and listen to it later, or you can just listen to it with an awakened ear, knowing that you're going to go back and experience it again. Now, so what does it mean actually to connect with your greatest reality? Simply put, it's aligning with a version of your life that is in perfect harmony with your highest purpose and deepest desires. And many of you, because I've been there and I'm saying this with conviction, many of you are not clear about what your deepest desires are, right? Ultimately, anything that you want, like a new house, a car, a better boss, a better job, all of that, you're really searching for a feeling. And 10 out of 10, in all honesty, we're all searching for that sense of freedom, that feeling of freedom, unencumbered, right? You can't feel free if you're encumbered. All right? So, what are your deepest desires? What is in your heart that has come up for you and you're like, "Oh my God, that dream is too big to have. I don't know, I'm crazy for having that dream." But I want you to take a moment, even pause this, and write down all of your desires. Don't judge them, welcome them, write them down. Nobody needs to know about this. It's a pretty yummy experience to indulge yourself in what is already possible. Remember that parallel reality of your biggest, wildest dreams, it already exists. All you have to do is not is walk into that. Literally walk into that big dream. Act as if it's already here. Be that version of yourself. And you will call that in. You will be guided about how to raise your frequency repeatedly in order to align and lock in with that desire. So, my question to you is, right? Why aren't you living in your highest reality? If your highest reality already exists, why aren't you living in that? So when we tune into your greatest reality, it requires two things. The first is awareness, right? You've got to recognize that your thoughts, beliefs, and actions create your reality. And I'm going to go even further. I'm going to expand on this in a future podcast episode, but I'm going to go even further to say that everything is energy, and the only reality you create is the one that you decide to exist. So whatever you observe and however you determine its meaning, whether it's good or bad, determines how you experience life. Okay? The second thing that tuning into your greatest reality requires is intention. Consciously choosing what you want to create and embodying it, like I just talked about before. And it's not that, you go into meditation and you're in meditation for 10, 15 minutes and you're feeling all the feels of having all the things. And you're like, oh, I did that, so I'm calling it in. It's like, well, that's part of it. It's a small part. But what happens to the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of your life when you're living in lack? Like, what happens to your energy? You just totally obliterated that 5 minutes of happy and that 5 minutes of being locked in. And so, in order to carry that through, you've got to keep having moments of these visualizations throughout your day. Just in your mind, imagine yourself and actually walk to your car, walk down the street as if you own the fucking world, right? Like everything always works out for you. You're in the best dressed outfit, you're feeling great. You know what? And you know that in every moment, how you decide to react to things determines what you experience. So you literally are in control of your life. That's been one of the most profound ahas for me in my spiritual journey over the past couple of weeks. And I'm going to speak more deeply to that in the coming weeks. But I want you to listen to that part again because it's freaking huge. It's a life changer if you take that on. Now, here's how to tune in. Okay, so a question I hear a lot from people is, well, I don't know how to tune in, or I got unplugged from spirit and I can't seem to get back there. And I've been there too, right? It's very interesting because And what I found from that, as I literally Spirit's showing me this now, every experience I've had of feeling unplugged, it's because I've decided to see a situation in a particular way. Lowering my vibration unplugs me. So if we choose to look at something as to our benefit, we're plugged in. If we choose to look at something with lack and that is harmful or scary or limiting or threatening, we're unplugged. So, as somebody who struggled with that on and off in my life, I finally figured it out, and I'm going to give you 3 quick steps that are going to help you too. So the first one, and I'm not even going to say, yeah, this is woo woo. Fuck that. I'm not. I'm not. Because I truly believe in this stuff. And I'm not going to disrespect my content or source by making this kind of pre qualifying statement. It is spirituality, it is alchemy, it is conscious creation. This is the real deal stuff. Okay. Step 1, quiet the noise. Create a spiritual practice where every single day, maybe 50 times a day, you're getting quiet. You're spending 5 to 10 minutes a day in stillness. And that doesn't mean your mind is going to be quiet. The whole point of you being in stillness, whether that's just walking with no noise, no radio, nothing in your ears, or sitting and noticing what you're thinking, right? This could be meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. Over the past few months, I'll tell you, I've made it a staple of my day to meditate. It's changed the game for me. I actually look forward to it because I'm grounding myself, I'm regulating my nervous system, and I'm able to think things through better. I'm able to look at things differently. I'm able to more they're having me say objectify my life experience so that I can decide how I want to react to things. So big shit has been happening inside me, and it just feels wonderful. Maybe you listen to a guided meditation, or you listen to music and just you're experiencing it. Or maybe you sit quietly while you're being mindful of each forkful of food that you have, right? Nothing works better to plug into spirit than to spend time in meditation. It's where all of your answers live. And for months, I resisted meditating. I literally would feel the angst, and my ego's like, oh, no, don't do that. No, 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 stay anxious. We like it when you're anxious because we can predict negative outcomes when you're anxious. And I finally got to a point, especially in all of my journaling that I do every morning, it was like I kept asking, what else can I do to shift my life into the level where I want it to be? Because I'm always striving for the next level. Because the next level and the next level and the next level, while it brings a new devil, it also brings an increased sense of freedom. So that's what I mean when I'm striving for the next level. Each level I reach frees me more from my past self. And so finally, I realized that the only thing that was left to do wasn't an act, it wasn't an action, it wasn't a doing, it was a being. And so once I allowed myself to get through the initial restlessness, it's now become a comfort, which I love. Okay. Step 2, focus on alignment. Now ask yourself, what matters most to me? Because people will say, well, I don't know how to get into alignment, right? Ask yourself what matters most. Now, pay attention to what you truly value. Now, you'll notice that what your ego values will stay in your head. What your soul values will anchor into your body, right? I love the idea of being famous. I love the idea of getting on stages and speaking. I love the idea of thousands and thousands of people all over the world listening to me right now. I fucking love that. And the reason why I love it is partly because my ego loves that. And I'm going to acknowledge that. But the other part is that it's affirming and confirming that I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing on this earth. Because it's anchored both in my head and in my body. And that's okay. As long as you, are aware that some desires are ego driven and some desires are soul driven. There's no judgment about either. It's as long as you take responsibility for what's ego driven and what's soul driven, that's all that matters, right? So when you figure out what you truly value, notice that whenever you're making a decision or taking an action, I want you to ask yourself this question. Does this choice or behavior align with my highest timeline goals? Right? And if so, move forward. If not, move in a different direction or wait for guidance. Now, your body's going to tell you if you're in alignment, especially when your head can't figure it out. Trust your body. Your greatest reality feels expansive and light. I'm going to say it again. Your greatest reality feels expansive and light, and you feel excited about it. So tap into that. Step 3, trust your intuition. Now, I always say at the end of each podcast episode, always live intuitively. And that's not just to say it. Spirit gave that to me the very first podcast episode because not only has this been my journey to trust my intuition 100% of the time and act on it, move when I get an intuitive nudge, but it's because y'all need to hear that over and over again. Whoever's listening needs to hear it over and over again. Always live intuitively. Your inner knowing often whispers. Rarely does it shout. Learn to discern this quiet guidance, and most importantly, learn to take action on your guidance. It's wonderful to be in touch with it, but doing nothing with the messages is like getting the address to an event that you really want to go to, but you ignore that address and you just go to a different address, expecting to be at the event or expecting to have the thing that you want. Does this make sense? It's like you're given the keys. Here you go. Here's the car of your dreams. And you take the keys and you go try to put them into an old piece of metal car, right? A car that is just like, well, this isn't what I asked for. And Spirit's like, but I gave you the keys. Match things up. Move in the direction of what you want. Now, when you're in alignment, synchronicities flow, doors will open, and life feels literally magical. And it's going to feel easy. You're going to want to wake up in the morning. So, how can you tell if you're truly receiving divine guidance? I hear this all the time. And this was a journey I had to understand too. So, divine guidance, it brings peace. It's neutral, right? Confusion or fear, there's no peace in that. Intuitive guidance, it's subtle, it's neutral, it's light, it feels right. There's no thinking. It's just clear. You're clear. You have calm clarity. Oh, it always is, and it always will be, because there's no judgment or opinion with divine guidance. Just like breathing, it just is. Whereas confusion or fear, there are beliefs that are attached to it. This is how you discern. And the beliefs are limiting. Okay? The difference between divine guidance and your ego is that you have feelings with your ego, you have feelings of confusion or fear and doubt. There's a negative spin. There's a limitation that you literally feel. But with divine guidance, it's like light. It's kind of like something rising to the top of your cup, and it just floats there. It's like, okay. Now, repetition. Now, there are messages that will often be repeated in your life, like through your dreams or signs or phrases you're going to hear multiple times. And I often get messages, numbers A lot of numbers. I'll see numbers on my clocks, on car tags, while I'm driving, or hearing or seeing them on some object. So, because my primary way of receiving information is through seeing, Spirit will guide me to look at things. Now, they're physical sensations. When we're connected in, when guidance comes, you might get really warm. I've gotten warm when Archangel Michael is right up next to me, right behind me. I just heard him say, I'm always here. I get very hot when I'm channeling with him. I'll get chills. I'll get the goosebumps when I'm channeling truth from the divine in a reading. I'll get a fluttering heart when I'm doing a reading for people or even teaching a class. I will start to cough because I'm clearing people's energies. I'll yawn because I'm clearing people's energies. Okay, y'all, I literally just had to stop this recording to yawn. So whoever's listening to this, I'm helping you clear some stuff, right? So ringing in the ears. That's how you know your guides are with you. Um, it's constant with me. I always hear a low grade ringing, and I love it, and I just feel wrapped up in it. I'll hear particularly louder rings in one or the other ear of different frequencies. Um, the right ear is for oh, hold on. The right ear is for kind of just daily connection, daily messages, and the left ear is for the big messages. So you might not understand the frequency. Just ask Spirit to translate the frequency into a language that you can understand and show it to you in some way. Okay? So your body is a fine-tuned machine. It's like a tuning fork. That's what your body is. And it knows everything, even when your mind doesn't or can't. Now, here's how you strengthen the connection. So you're going to ask for signs. Okay? So be specific when requesting signs from the universe or your higher self. I did this yesterday. I said, okay, Spirit, show me 3 sevens if such and such. Okay? Now, I went through my day, and I think probably 5 or 6 times I saw 2 sevens, but it was close enough, right? So it's things like that. Be specific when requesting signs from the universe or your higher self, but this is the key, don't put restrictions on the universe for how and when it's delivered, okay? And I just looked at the clock, and it was 22:22 on this recording. So you can request a sign, but just understand that the universe works on its own timeline, not yours. And so I want you all to consider also that a sign that you ask for, it might show up in some other way, right? You might ask to see a feather or a bird in real time, but it might show up on a TV show or in a magazine or online if you're scrolling, or a book that you're guided to look at. But it's still the sign you've asked for. So just keep an open mind. Now, it's important to record your insights and keep a journal to track your intuitive hits and guidance. When you keep track of your intuitive hits, it's like building a muscle. The muscle of intuition, it just gets stronger and stronger. So give yourself grace and time to develop your intuitive muscle like you would if you're going to work out and start to change your body. It doesn't happen in a day. You've got to practice. And before you know it, you're going to become the master at trusting your intuition like I do. The third one is expressing gratitude. Now, gratitude amplifies your connection to the divine energy. Gratitude is not a joke. It's not some bullshit thing that people say. It truly raises your vibration. So give you an example. Yesterday, I was like, I gave myself the charge. I said, okay, Janis, for the next 24 hours, I'm not going to complain. And if I find myself complaining, I'm going to shift that into a blessing. And I did. And I noticed when I started to bitch and moan. And then I was like, nope. Change that. I'm so grateful this. I'm so grateful that. And I felt it. And so There is incredible power in gratitude, not because it's just words that you spew out, but the energy and the frequency of it. Okay? The vibration of gratitude is what we're striving to embody. Not just saying the empty thank yous, right? And expecting the universe to take that as genuine gratitude. You got to mean it, because unless you mean it, the universe is like, well, whatever. Seriously, the universe is like, nah, that didn't work. Now, I want to talk to you about what's stopping you from living in your highest reality. So here are the top culprits. The first is fear of change. Been there, done that. This one has scared the shit out of me. But I've worked on that because I want to grow, right? And I want you to grow. So when you fear change and you stay in your comfort zone, you're just stagnant. You're not moving anywhere. So when we embrace change, again, you get to decide how you see change. You could see it as a threat, or you could see it as an opportunity for growth, as something exciting for you to discover, right? Depending on how you choose to see change, it can either be something scary or amazing. And how do you ultimately want to experience the one thing that is a certainty in this human experience? That's my question to you. How do you really want to? You see, you're the architect of your life. And when you stop sleepwalking and you realize that this life that you're living is of your entire creation, that you literally are in control of the simulation you're in, by how you decide to choose to observe and look and perceive your experiences, it changes the whole game. Now, the second common block is self-doubt. Negative self-talk, oh my God, it erodes your ability to trust your intuition, because you're going to dismiss all your guidance. And then you're going to start getting pissed off at God and saying, well, where have you been? And Spirit's like, we've been here the whole time. And we've guided you. You just haven't listened. So you get to replace, listen to what I just said. And they had me say it in this way specifically. You get to replace doubt with words that help you develop a new habit of speaking to yourself. You get to do that. So I want you to try to reframe any negative thoughts into positive ones. When you say, I don't know how to do it, you could say, I don't know how to do this yet, but I know I'll figure it out. Changes the game. The third common block is overthinking. Okay? Analysis paralysis disconnects you from your intuitive flow. When you're living life from your intuition, there is no thought involved, because intuitive living is a state of being, not a state of doing. And when you're in a state of doing, you're in contact with your thinking. When you're in a state of being, you're in contact with your soul and your body. Woo! That just came through, y'all. I hope that helps. When you trust the first feeling or thought that arises, you notice that, you go, oh, okay. And you get out of your head and into your body and listen to your intuition. It's really the only way to live. You're not to judge the intuitive hits. You're just to move on them. Even if they don't turn out the way you think they should, even if you feel screwed by them, your intuition is there always to guide you and has your best interest at heart. Now, the last block is all about external influences. And this is something that when you're seeking outside of yourself for the answers, you're relying on everything outside of you to make decisions for you. That means you don't trust yourself. So it's wonderful to get guidance. I mean, I have run things by my friends, but I've run them by when I've had some sense of certainty, like, okay, this is where I'm feeling the guidance to go to or do. What do you get? Like, and the people that I reach out to, they're gifted, so they're very tapped into their gifts, their abilities, and so they're helpful that way. But most of the time, I know that the buck stops with me when it comes to my life. So, and I also know that if I'm seeking outside of myself too much, that I'm disconnected from me. It's as if um, I'm not trusting me. So the more you go within, the more you're open to listening to your intuition, the more boundaries you set and prioritize self-reflection so that you always come back to self, to your heart, to your gut instinct, then you get to make decisions from that place. And these kind of decisions are your informed decisions, right? Now, how do you eliminate these blocks? You get grounded in your body. You start knowing the messages that your body tells you. And this next one, when you release old patterns, this is one of the things that I've learned lately. Old patterns stop when you decide to stop practicing them. And y'all, my cat has just come around. You're going to hear her. But the moment you decide to stop believing a negative thought is the moment it leaves. When you decide that negative thought, hi, kitty, that negative thought is not the reality that you want, it's gone. That's fucking magical, isn't it? Right? You get to choose how much grief, how much struggle, and difficulty is in your life simply by how much you focus on it. So, the quickest way to release old patterns of worry and fear, even guilt or anger or resentment, anything, is simply, of course, to decide that you're not going to hold those feelings anymore, but replace them with focusing on the blessings in your life. Shift your focus. If you don't want to feel angry, focus on something joyful because you get to create your reality and see what changes with your life. Now, another suggestion about how to eliminate the blocks to really connect with your highest self, right, is to imagine yourself already living in that reality. Like if you closed your eyes and you decided to give yourself permission to see yourself in your multi-million-dollar mansion floating on a comfortable raft in your gorgeous pool overlooking the most beautiful scenery, and you have a butler come and give you your lunch or a cocktail, and you have all the most wonderful people in your life with you, and this house is unbelievably decorated, and it's the house of your dreams, and you feel it, and you feel yourself there. This is your house. You've decorated it. You see it. And you embody it. Quickest way to collapse timelines. Quickest way to collapse timelines. To embody that version of you. Now, I'm about to share with you a quick meditation. So if you're driving, you could listen to this, but I suggest that you don't, so that you can focus on driving. If you're not driving, then I would like to invite you to just get settled in the chair that you're in, or pause this, go lay down, and follow my voice. So close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in. Hold it and slowly breathe out. Breathe in again, nice and deep through your nose, pushing your belly out. Hold it. Slowly breathe out of your mouth. And let's begin. As you relax, imagine a soft, golden light surrounding you. This light is warm, comforting, and filled with divine energy. It flows in from the top of your head, coating the inside of your head, over your eyes, cheekbones, jaw, mouth. And this light flows down from your head to your spinal cord, lighting it up, down to your shoulders and down your arms all the way down to your fingertips, down to your chest, to your back, and to your hips, down both legs, all the way through your feet, into the earth below, grounding and connecting you to the light and to the earth. Now repeat silently or out loud after me. I am open to receiving divine guidance. I trust the wisdom of my higher self. I am creating my experience every single moment. I am the designer of my life. I am the master of my destiny. I take radical responsibility for my life, and because of that, I can call in miracles into my life. My world expands higher and higher, and I live in abundance, prosperity, and extreme joy as the universe fully supports me in all of my dreams. My vision is supersized. Everything is always working out for me. I can choose at any moment to change my life. Feel this light expanding, filling your heart and mind with clarity and power. And imagine your greatest reality. Notice all the details, all the colors, all the sounds, all the feelings. Notice the joy you're in your greatest reality. Notice that from that place of your greatest reality, how you get to contribute in a positive way to the lives of others. How much you can help others. How much of service you get to be to others. How much you decide to get to grow. See yourself living in alignment with your true purpose, even if you don't know what that is. Just feel yourself living your purpose, because it will soon be revealed. Notice the details. Where are you? In your greatest reality, who are you with? What are you doing on a daily basis to practice gratitude and make the world a better place? How does your greatest reality feel? And let this vision grow brighter and brighter and stronger in your mind, in your mind's eye, and in your body. Now, hear these words and let them resonate deeply with you. I am worthy of my highest reality. Guidance flows to me effortlessly and clearly, and I take action on my divine guidance without question. I release all fear and doubt, embracing trust and love. Now, breathe in a nice, deep breath. Feel the gratitude for this connection, and as you breathe out, release anything that no longer serves you. See it leaving your mind and see it leaving your energy body. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to the room, back to the seat or couch or chair that you're in. Wiggle your fingers and toes and open your eyes and carry this energy with you throughout the day. I want to thank you for joining me on this journey today. It is a journey. And remember, your highest reality is always within reach, and divine guidance is just a moment of stillness away. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with somebody who could use a little extra light in their life. Hop on iTunes, subscribe, rate the podcast, write a review. I'd love to see what you're experiencing as you move on your journey. So until next time, stay aligned, stay open, and stay true to your highest self, even when it feels hard. And of course, always live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend. And be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.